Hello again for another session of the letter. So, on the last session, basically we got Rebecca, going to school, and then unfortunately she had to meet Luke once again at that school. Now, after their whole little meetup, basically Kylie, the young schoolgirl who she bumps into, of course, we recently discovered that Kylie is actually Luke's godparent, if I remember correctly. Yes, a godparent. And so from there, she was kind of like complaining about, like, her friend is crying in the restroom. And so as Rebecca goes to investigate, apparently her friend might be most likely is the ghost that might be happening. So as she got there, basically she noticed and sees Kylie, like her eyes are being possessed by the ghost herself. And as she was having this whole experience, freaking out and all, Kylie seems to be undeterred. The fact that like, what's going on and stuff, and well, Rebecca had to basically get the heck out. So, I believe there was also a moment where I think I forget to mention this. Oh yeah, so also Rebecca actually had a good to girl moment about re reassuring Isabella. And Isabella was just, it takes place right after when Isabella had to escape from her job and basically confess that, the spirit's after her. But, being the long, you know, relationship those two have as friends, being next door neighbors especially, um, they kind of reconcile a bit and reassure that, the spirit is really not the issue, but if we need to, we can work through it together kind of moment. So, without all that further ado, we're going to continue where we left off and pray that we can probably help fix things as Rebecca. So let's continue. Alright, so I believe we saw this line. Bloody hell, what happened? I don't understand what's happening anymore. Ellipses. Yeah, there we go. At this part now. Ellipses. The tremors continues long and after the last of my classes have ended. Although none of my students have commented on it, I've caught a few sharing anxious glances every time a pen slips from my hands or from my shoulders tense whenever called. How unusual it must be for them to normally compose Miss Gales become a bundle of nerves. Even the most bolsterous ones have given me less grief today. Oh, for a minute I thought that was, oh boy, she knows how to get crunk up
wow,
in here.
she's stressed.
I know. I was like, I don't know. Is you?
Yeah,
I don't think.
goodness.
I don't think.
Cool.
I don't. Wait. Is UK relax on recreational herbs, or they're still illegal? I can't tell.
I think it's pretty easy to get a medical card there.
Okay. I was like, damn, Rebecca, my girl. The beginning of my fourth cup of tea would provide any sort of comfort.
I mean,
Or is
yeah,
this the fifth? Oh, is it the THC tea? Holy crap.
specialty.
Yeah. Egad, why does counting matter now? The fact that I can easily shake it off this time should tell me something. Last time this happened, it passed off as some lass on my part, even been sick the whole week before.
And it is a natural conclusion.
Alright, oh, just 1 second. It's just the music a little strong here, so I'm just gonna do this. There we go. That's good enough. Those are just stories, century-old lore passed by the locals to keep the children in line. The place doesn't have those. One of my Da's book and even went far as to describe them as a strong part of Isabella's culture. Tree giants, women who feed on unborn children straight from the mother's womb, or hell, even the one story about a demon baby. All folklore that never had the smidgen of truth in it, most probably told to scare off the natives there back in the old days, much like every other one in every other place. The world is more universal than people could care to think. But looking at it from where I'm standing now, after staring right into the eyes of that woman, after all the things I've been hearing and feeling, perhaps there's really more than that bloody letter than some awful Halloween prank.
Perhaps Isabella's right all along.
A terrible thing if true. Though that thought doesn't linger longer, thankfully. The ringing of my bubble takes my attention away from it, and a familiar name flashes before me once the lights up, and my brow knits together. Marianne Michalak.
Unfamiliar name, but she has like her picture set.
Yeah.
Okay.
How did she manage to get that profile pic? That's what I'm more curious. All right. Anyways, staring.
Even her mother didn't have a profile picture when she called. That's a little weird.
Maybe they couldn't afford art for her or something. Other than that, staring at the hand, I try to remember what I've entered this person in my contact list. It takes a moment, but when it clicks, my eyes echoes on the book lying wide open on my table. Loaned out from the library almost a week ago. I met the
Oh,
woman
the
that-
hate flirting.
Oh yeah, they did meet.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
The
the
frenemy
hate
thing.
flirting. I like the hate flirting. Yeah, they had a thing.
Me cute. It was
Yeah.
a me cute.
Oh wait, Ed. You'll get this later, but they had a cosmecitude. You know, when you get further in your Homestuck journey, you'll appreciate that.
Okay, repeat that again.
The
You know what, Maria?
Is
Just
it
you could just message that to me directly in my DM, so you don't have to explain. Other than that, a history buff apparently. We were after the same book, but in the end, she has given it to me under the condition that I call her once I'm done. To be honest, I completely forgotten about it until now. And, well, I haven't really taken a peek at it until today. Normally, I'd be done with the whole volume of this size in a few days after taking it out. About 1 or 2, depending how busy I am. But finding a chance to sit down and read through it has been more difficult lately than I anticipated. One moment I'm busy, simply grading worksheets, attending a movie premiere next. Then someone suddenly invited me out for one reason or another. Days later, a friend stops showing up in her flat right after worrying reports pop up in the local news. There simply isn't enough time to breathe and get the grip on things. I've been flipping through the pages of said book moments ago, though never really reading anything or merely hoping for a distraction. To no avail. My phone gives out another ring, and this time I do not hesitate to answer.
Marianne?
Amidst the hate flirting.
Oh, here I was starting to wonder if it's a bad time to call.
Jesus Christ, Marion, how many women are you gonna hit on in this playthrough?
Look,
Look at that
let
harem
let the girl make her own harem. She's in a competition.
As many as she
Hana, okay?
legally can.
As many as she can
I mean, she
legally
needs the help to get out of the dungeon.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's okay,
Marianne out of the dungeon.
I like how we have to remind ourselves about that.
It was either that or death.
Edwin.
Okay,
Okay,
back.
I'm assuming she said it.
No, not at all. I dismissed my last class a few minutes ago. I'm pretty much free for the rest of the afternoon. Unless something comes up. Is this about last time? The book?
I was hoping to ask you about some other thing.
Oh, sure. What about?
You grew up in the city, didn't you?
1 second, I'm trying to do a little bit of volume editing. Yeah, here we go.
Am I quiet?
A little bit. It was a little bit of my end mostly, but don't worry. It's a peculiar question to ask someone you just met, but I answer nonetheless. I'm more curious where she's heading with this by starting with that.
Aye, born and raised. Third generation migrant. Why do you ask?
Familiar with the local lore. The stories?
Quite. If I'm going to teach about history, I'd like to think I am, yeah? But a family friend would be a better person to ask. If you want, I can contact him for you.
Oh, let's just keep this between us, okay? It's nothing too big. And Alright. I really don't know how else to put this without sounding a bit crazy, but things have been really, odd. Do you remember the mansion I mentioned back when we met? My current project?
In hindsight, I should have expected to lead to this. She must have not lived here long if she's just asking about this now. I didn't take a week with Isabella when she arrived, but that Isabella, superstitious down to the last hair. Though, it won't be too far off to think Marianne has only started thinking about this recently. He's working on the damn house itself. I must admit, even now I'm curious now, despite living here for so many years and having so many chances to look it up before.
The Ermengarde mansion, yes?
One. And the thing is, oh dear, this is a bad idea. You know what? Just forget I ever called you about this. It must have been the sunny weather. It's making me sick and see stupid things.
See things?
No, wait. It's alright. I don't mind.
There's a moment pause before she responds again. She's right in that. This is a silly thing to talk about, especially between what I assume two people who are pretty grounded on their beliefs with regards to these things. I don't blame her if she hesitates.
I can't believe I'm asking you about this.
It's fine. Why don't you think of it as some form of research?
Right. But after this, we're going to forget we ever had this talk.
My lips will be sealed. Now, what is it about the mansion?
Just know about it. The general gist. The place's past, what happened to the owners. Anything you can give me.
Let's see. To start off,
Just really quick, can someone take over the narration for me? I'm sorry.
I do my best to give her a concise summary. From the time the house was commissioned 400 years ago and who had it built.
That's a long summary.
Up to the point it got deserted after the last heir's death and the deed was passed on to the Ermengarde's nearest relatives. Frankly, if it weren't for those urban legends persisting, the house would have already faded into obscurity long ago. Demolished, even. These are all nothing she probably hasn't heard of before, yet there's dissatisfaction in her tone once I finish.
Later. That's all there really is to it?
So no crazy haunted sex dungeons then, right?
No,
As
I
far
did
as
not
I
say
know.
that.
There's this little bit I forgot to mention about Lady Charlotte Ermengarde's death, but most of those are just theories.
And
Aside from that, this is really everything we've been teaching all these years. Should there be anything more?
Any other weird stuff? Other crazy stories? Or a letter of some sort?
Oh, she said the thing.
my blood runs cold. Any warmth and comfort the tea I drank has given me prior has instantly been drained out of me. The phone creaks softly as my
across. Ignore it. Random thoughts, you know? By the way, I need to run. Thanks for answering my questions.
She ends the call abruptly with only a clipped goodbye, leaving my mind heavy with even more thoughts. The mood around my classroom has gone considerably denser, a lot of what little I've gleaned from that conversation. I don't think Marian's lying about her intent. Her interest is genuine, I give her that, but she's left a lot of things out. just like the God of High School adaptation. I get the sense she only asked because something's happening around her too, and if she hadn't mentioned the letter, I probably wouldn't have made the connection.
Just what the hell did we get ourselves into?
Of course, there's still a lot of confusing details in this. All these are just assumptions. No concrete conclusion before what we have, and we want to find out what we're dealing with. I think Marianne's right. There might be something more to those stories. As absurd as it sounds, the very place that gave us that letter might tell us something beyond what we know. And tomorrow night, I have a few hours of that chance at the housewarming party. Totally not an exciting thought, since the place is privately owned now. I can't just wander around. But that's enough reason to keep the dread at bay as I step out of the room ready to put an end to this day. However, all those good vibes disappear into thin air when I run headfirst into Luke. There's really something in this man. Regardless of how much my opinion of him has changed over the span of a few hours, he simply blasts through every good impression people have of him without care or thought, just like John Cleese in Faulty Towers. He doesn't even need to open his mouth. His mere presence does it. In all honesty, I think he's the kind of guy only a mother can love. Well, actually, no, maybe not. No.
If you'd like, I could swap over for
I mean,
narration.
his
if you're
mother's
gonna
dead,
narrate
so
now.
I don't know.
Let's
You're
see.
still here.
Obviously. What do you think's standing in front of you?
And ours.
Oh, come on, Daisy. You've done better than that. Losing your touch.
Luke, I don't have time for this. I'm heading home, and your face is the last thing I want to see before I leave.
Well then, how about this? And then he just puts on a Spider-Man mask out of nowhere.
God.
Does
What do
the
you
Spider-Man
want?
3 dance or something?
Oh god, yes! Belatedly, I notice his hand. Partly raised, almost poised for a knock. At a slight lift of an eyebrow, he quickly drops to his side and turns to the worst character in this game.
Is he trying to give you a fist bump?
She's standing a few steps away from him, holding her hands behind her back and towing at something on the floor with the tip of her shoe. Then he proceeds to make vague gestures at me and the child. He resembles a fish flopping for air with the way he's moving his arms, but I think he's trying to urge her to speak up. Munchkin, I thought you wanted to tell her something.
You do it too. I'm too dumb.
That wasn't
Oh,
my
no.
idea, darling.
Don't worry. I won't tell Tia what you told me the other day and this morning. You know, the thing
Damn, she's already
that I'm not
blackmailing.
supposed to know.
Damn.
Shut up, Scrappy. Luke exhales, rolling his eyes at the ceiling and maybe praying for the universe to grant him more patience. Because Lord knows he needs it. He knows a losing battle when he sees one. He may act worse than a 5-year-old throwing a tantrum at times, but he's no match for an actual child of Satan.
I'm gonna win.
Nothing better than being served a dose of his own medicine, huh? Once his frustration has been promptly let out, he points a rude finger at me. Objection! I do my best to stare the offending digit down, but I can already hear the demand before it's even out of his lips. You, come with us!
Dude, what the hell?
What makes you think I will?
Because little Rugrat here is upset and worried, and it's your bloody fault! I've no idea what happened this morning, but if you don't come with us, I won't be hearing the end of it from her. She is seriously, save me from her! Save me! So do me a favor, Daisy, and just be glad I'm inviting you to share in my pain.
You asking for a favor, and you can't be bothered to be polite? I don't know. It's been a really busy day for me. I kind of miss my couch.
Daisy, you just don't understand. Just say yes, please.
He's turning red again.
Right, why is he
Pause.
blushing?
A pause follows, almost too dramatic. It's the sun. It's just the sun.
Gotta get that tsundere blush, dude.
No, it's the sun. I promise. Afterwards, his face twisted into something between a grimace and a smile. As it happens, he appears like he's in a lot of physical pain. You think the man is getting an aneurysm by simply being polite. Please?
Oh.
Aww.
Tia says that Big his treat.
What? Said no such thing, Munchkin.
I'm scared for the whole school.
I only agreed to this because you requested it. I'm under no obligation to feed her.
All the food. I promise I'll be quiet the next time I visit, not tell Tia about your alcohol stash.
Oh, all right. But just one meal, and make it the cheapest. He and Ashton will get along famously on that department. On a different front, the offer of free dinner does sound enticing, however half-heartedly given it is. Mostly because Kylie has wisely put on her puppy eyes, and by the second, I find all my choices slipping away from me. Don't fall for it, Rebecca.
See Miss Pink? It'll be fun.
Those are the eyes of the devil.
You don't have to feel sad anymore, okay?
Well,
A buzz from my pocket, cutting me mid-sentence, and for a second, I'm spared from the act of giving an answer I'll regret either way. Fishing the gadget out, I wave a hand at him and excuse myself. A scrolling expression is on Luke's face before I turn away. I'd be lying if I say it didn't amuse me. He's as eager to be done with this as I am, but what can I do? Checking a message from Ashton shows up. Oh.
Hey, Becca, I don't know if to read this. I'll be around Samwell this evening. Need to meet someone in the area. I might have to drop by yours and Isabella's place after. Deuces.
Good God, your cell reception is terrible! Just the usual. Unlike what he does to Zachary, Ashton has the decency to let us know when he's dropping by or if he's in the area for some business. From the way it's phrased, it sounds to be the latter. Either way, I'm glad he's at least aware of that boundary. Not that Isabella's ever going to let him leave the building unscathed if he ever pulls the same stunt he does with the other man. I cringe to imagine what she'll do to him. Sighing, I slip the gadget back to my pocket. But looking up to see Luke's utter impatience on his face, I now face a different dilemma. The two of them are still waiting, and knowing the kind of person Luke is, this is already a grand gesture of goodwill coming from him. All to please his godchild. His denials aside, it's easy to tell he's really fond of Kylie from his actions alone. Bullshit. I kind of hate to ruin that. Well, Daisy, we're waiting here. On the other hand, there's Ash. This seems like a difficult decision, doesn't it? His message doesn't exactly imply he's going to wait or is expecting me to be there, but there are matters I hope to discuss with him in person, to put it simply.
Girl, Ash has been ignoring you for 17 years.
Yes, but this is Luke we're talking about here. Housewarming party matters. With inviting Isabella out of the question, I only have Zachary and Ashton. Although the former has already made clear he'll be busy this week, and, well, Ashton has been my first choice from the start. Even if you detest attending gatherings like this, it's company that counts. We can be miserable together. Oh, right.
No.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Maybe going with Ashton isn't a good idea. But that's because hey, at least I will pay attention to you. But that's the problem, isn't it? He hates them, and it's very likely his answer will be a flat no. I'd rather not hear that. If, by some miracle, he agrees to it, he'll probably be sulking the whole party. Not really a tough choice when you put it like that. Still. Tough choice, but I have to pick one. And yeah, the thing is, you can go with Ashton, who you know, but he's probably going to not treat you well the entire time. Or you can go with, Luke, who is an ass, but he will at least pay attention to you.
As the president of the anti-simping committee, I firmly believe we should not go with Ashton.
Wait. You're the president of the anti-simping community? Where?
Correct.
I have not even heard of this community.
Probably because you're a simp,
Break
Justin.
away.
Wait.
This is
No,
not healthy.
I thought simps were supposed to know about that community so that they could, that they can, know that it exists.
All right, let's look at this like
She
it's
needs
a,
to
like
break
it's a,
away from her dependencies on Ashton because it is not working out for her.
All right, so let's look at this. So let's look at this like it's a Senate election right now. So right now, Luke is kind of trailing behind Ashton, and we could probably make amends with Luke here, even though we kick him the balls by going without Ashton. Or we can go full husband mode, aka simping for Ashton. So
No, I'm not for simping Ashton. I'm second option.
Yeah, Ashton is not into her. It is only gonna end badly.
all right, any other individuals who are like not on Team Ashton?
So is the end game?
Second option.
Is it
Alright.
is it Ashton and that other girl?
Isabel?
Isabella.
Isabel?
Yeah, I think they're
No,
pretty
no,
high.
it's just Ashton.
Ashtabel, the pairing? I don't know.
I think
Yeah.
I think I'm on the Luke train on this one.
Yeah, the Luke train. So that's
Yeah,
gonna be
I've given
majority
it
I
some
never
thought.
thought
votes.
it
True.
today, but yes, I'm
Yeah.
also on there.
One,
Yeah, it's
two.
hard to say, because like we just had like a scarring traumatic moment with Kylie, and we're like, well, now Kylie wants us to go.
I
I
mean,
guess
we are closest to this little possible like conduit for murder, but you know. But other than that, 4 people
Yeah.
has
Okay, yeah, we
voted
can go.
for.
Yeah, the problem with
Team
the problem with Ashton is that he kind of takes is that he is not taking this. He's not really in the best.
in the
relationship.
relationship.
There is no relationship. There's no
Exactly,
relationship.
that's the thing.
Yeah, it's a tough choice. It's either like
It's really
hang
not
out-
tough at all. He
hang out with Luke, who's kind of a racist asshole, or go to Ashton, who's been ignoring her for 17 years.
It's
Those are
too
the
bad
great
you can't
choices.
go to
Would
Ashton.
you want to hang out with
Ashton's not even guaranteed. He
Yeah.
might come by, maybe, if he feels like it.
I was just hoping I could like activate Operation Cuck Isabella for funsies, but that's just me.
But I don't think
Look,
that's
I
really
don't
gonna
see
help.
that happening because if Ashton and Rebecca had any chance, they would have gotten together already because they've known each other since childhood.
You know, it might change once we get to the Ashton route.
There is, I mean, like there's a relationship bar there with Ashton, and it is pretty high. Like I'm pretty sure we could make it happen. The game's giving us the tools. You know,
We have the
We
technology.
have the technology.
technology.
Is it mutual though? Like we
Well,
know Rebecca likes Ashton, but if we look at
I feel
Ashton's
like-
card,
I think the relationships are generally mutual at the starting points.
mhm. So I want to take a guess here. By the time we get to Ashton, I feel like we really get to choose either Team Rebecca or Team Isabella in that route, in my personal opinion. But
Oh well, and if we get Marianne, Hannah anyway, then we need someone else for Luke. So I guess it can
I
be.
don't think
I mean,
I don't think
how-
Rebecca would be my first choice though. Yeah.
but other than that, I guess 4 people are still
Luke
into
and
Team
Isabella.
Kylie.
Yeah.
Oh god.
No, they don't have
Yeah.
a relationship.
I don't
so-
think they ever meet again. I don't think he's
Yeah.
into like, you know, Filipino women. So, but other than that,
Yeah, I think only Hannah, Marianne, and Rebecca are the only women he really interacts with.
I mean, he likes them kind of mean.
Yeah.
But other than that,
that is
Oh
true.
yeah, I can see it. Actually.
other than that,
Yeah.
so Team Rebecca.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
Team Rebecca it is.
In the end, it's my own fondness for Kylie that wins out, and it's not because she's brainwashed me. Chances are, I only have to endure his presence for an hour or so. If it lasts more than that, I can make it an excuse. A sudden call from a friend or things to work on.
You think that, but my eyes are hypnotic and I'll draw you in.
It doesn't seem so bad when I think of the pros and
Goodness.
cons. At best, it'll be a quiet dinner. At worst, it'll be an awkward affair we're both eager to be rid of. I'm leaning more on the latter happening, hoping for the former, of course. But you know, it's Luke.
Okay, but only because. Sorry, I'm lagging just slightly. Okay, but only because Kylie asked.
Kylie's face instantly lights up. For the 3rd time today, she tackles me into a hug before pulling away and dragging me by the hand towards the building's exit.
That's alright, I'm sure Tio doesn't mind. I'm gonna set you guys up. You let me pick where we're going out to eat. Don't worry, it's just close.
We're going to Weenie Hut Juniors, baby.
Aw, yeah.
Luke follows closely behind and perhaps out of some desire to keep the dead air away, I can't resist throwing in a quip.
Keep your distance. You better not do anything funny, you hear?
I'm the one who should keep my distance. You're the one who kicked me in the balls. May I remind you who approached me first and what you did right after?
Oh, I remember it clearly, but perhaps it's you who needs a reminder. You seem to have never learned your lesson. Can we give it another try? Maybe this time it'll stick.
Maybe this time it will stick. I think you're scary. I'll show you what's scary. To my surprise, his tone lacked the usual sardonic note in it, and briefly I paused to stare at him. He quickly shuts his mouth right after and walks ahead of us. But then he comes back and whispers, Oh, okay, but seriously, is there an anti-simping club? Oh! What's that for? All talk and no trousers like the usual.
Anti-simping.
And for the better of our part of our walk, except for Kylie's excited chatter, we don't speak. It was a genuine question. I was curious.
All talk and no trousers.
I had this strange feeling I'm already getting used to this kind of banter with him. I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing. And amidst this new found friendship, dare I call it that, Ashton's message lays for gone and abandoned in my pocket. Because fuck him. Of all the places nearest to the school, Kylie picks this one, and waiting for food to be served is as
We only
awkward
have
as
so
I
many
imagine it would
animation
be.
scenes. So it
Yeah?
has to be this one.
Oh my god, this. How are the patrons always the same here?
Back at Starbucks.
Not the bad sort, though. The pleasant kind.
Listen, they paid good money for that satanic chinchilla or whatever it is painted in the background there. They're gonna get all the real estate they can out of it. They are going to. You're gonna look at that.
Surprisingly, Luke's an okay bloke when he tries. Although it may be because this place is dead inside. When he tries. So long as they're willing to look past the tactless remarks or we're not exchanging acerbic quips. It's clear he's making an effort for this to be as fun as possible for the 6-year-old by being chattier, even going as far as to laugh when Kylie's story calls for it. It's an interesting thing to hear from the man. Please save me from this child. More than once, I catch his frequent teased off expression easing whenever he looks at the girl. And your friend, did you make up with her?
Yep. She said she saw something she didn't like. She didn't accept the jellies, though. She told me to give it to you instead. She knows you like the red ones, too.
Very well, hand it to me later. I'll bring some of them home. I think your Tia would love to have some. What a terrible liar. He says he dislikes the idea of having children of his own, but it's easy to see some part of him genuinely wants them. What's stopping him? Once Kylie wanders to the nearby bookshelves after having lost interest in the conversation, however, we both revert back to silence. On our own, we have little to talk about, aside from a few questions about the other here and there. At one point, it does veer on local politics and history. He's surprisingly versed with it that he can hold a decent conversation without throwing a jibe. I tell you, Margaret Thatcher! That woman is blah,
Good
blah,
Lord.
blah, blah, blah. Nothing too personal is ever mentioned so far, though. It's too early for those, and besides, I don't like him enough to speak of every minute detail of my life. Better keep it strictly between the silence and the casual repartee. This whole thing already looks and feels wrong on so many levels. I'm quite sure he feels the same. So when another bout of silence hits us and becomes too much, I've taken to finding something else to occupy myself. Toying with my mobile, turning it from hand to hand while we wait for our respective meals. But it'll be a complete lie if I say I'm not waiting for some intervention. Something to pull me away from this place. Someone. Oh, is that Roger Rabbit? Ashton's probably at Salemville by this time. Salemwell by this time. Working on whatever business he has there. Maybe if I make up an excuse and leave now, I can still catch him. Cut that out. It's distracting. My hand still, holding the gadget awkwardly between us, arrested mid-pass by his bored tone. He isn't quiet for a long minute now after complaining about how appalling the tea they're serving here is. Before that, he has whined about how uncomfortable his chair is and tasteless the decorations they have here.
He doesn't like
One star on this, whatever app this is. Previous to that, he has griped about how dull the place is compared to the one he frequents on the upper class side of the city. Well, can you blame me? Well, I'm sorry for being a bunch of peasants, your majesty. Figures he'll lose patience soon, having already grumbled about almost everything his eyes can reach. It's just unfortunate he's turned to me now.
Why don't you just look somewhere else?
I can't. I might turn elsewhere. I might end up looking at the bulb fork right behind us.
What's that?
The what now?
Oh, fuck.
Bobful. Do I even want to ask?
I don't want to hear it. If it's coming out of his mouth, it can only either be rude or offensive. Regardless, he continues. Everything looks good, but have you seen the face? True horror.
Ugh. What is wrong with you? You know, I
Apparently
found
that's
about
a Urban Dictionary. That's for a person with an attractive body but an ugly face.
Oh, so a butterface.
Oh, Butterface.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Oh god, reminds me of Chandler's girlfriends and friends.
Oh, no.
Oh no. You know, I frown about this in practice, but that mouth needs to be washed out with a particularly potent soap.
Oh, my.
Preferably by your own mum.
My mom's dead.
A shame she isn't here. Hmm?
Oh.
For whatever reason, that puts an end to that talk right away. He returns to watching his godchild, who has found a particularly interesting picture book and is now poring over it while I turn back to my mobile. Still, no message. Would it kill him to at least send a message? Check if I were home?
Dun,
He
dun,
doesn't
dun.
care, Becky.
Meanwhile,
Oh my
Luke's
God.
silence lasts
Move
all
on,
but 10
bro.
seconds. What is it with the damn mobile? Are you on a curfew? He's got the immature act down pat, I'll give him that. Seriously, how old is this guy? Has he somehow been deprived of affection during childhood? Yes!
Oh, yeah, that's a definite 100%.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe
that's
you can
example.
both can relate to that, you know?
Oh. And what is it to you? I don't think it's any of your business what I do with it.
It is my business, alright? 1, I'm the one paying here. 2, I am being forced to eat dinner in a place this stuffed and noisy and lifeless. Which is somehow contradictory to each other. But lastly, it's been, what the fuck? Why is my dialogue going so fast I can't read it? Turn back the log.
Hold on. I'm having misclicks everywhere for all of a sudden. It's because, like, for some reason my my mail reminder just popped out of nowhere and it just came with everything with that.
That'd be so funny if he just like says that out of nowhere. Why is my dialogue going so fast?
Yeah.
I have met a lot. I have
Alright.
gone on a lot of outings with women over the years, but you are despicable.
Eh.
Lastly, it's been 10 minutes. The food isn't here, and I'm hungry. What you're doing with the mobile is annoying and distracting, when the least you could do is keep things entertaining while I suffer.
Eh.
That sounds like a you problem.
That's your problem? Shouldn't you be more worried about how this entire affair looks to other people?
Oh, I didn't realize this was one.
I don't like how he
Oh my.
got charming at that phrase.
Way too smug.
Too
You move
smug.
fast, Daisy. You could have informed me first, you know. Had I known, I would have taken you someplace nicer. Someplace that shows Roger Rabbit on TV.
Oh no. Not Roger
Good
Rabbit.
lord.
Hey, Who Framed Roger Rabbit is a classic!
It is.
It is a
But-
good film. It's been a
Well,
while.
I don't know if it's a thing to have in the background to do an affair, but alright.
Did you not see the film? Do you not remember what the central conflict revolved around?
Hey,
I mean, true, there was a romance.
there was a
Jessica
romance.
Rabbit.
Yeah, Jessica
That
Rabbit.
Roger
she's-
Rabbit was quote unquote cheating on him.
Anyways.
But she wasn't.
Yes, exactly. But certainly the kind with better food and plenty of good wine and scotch on the rocks.
Scotch on the rocks.
Ugh, why did I ever think this was a good idea?
Why didn't we go with that sooner?
Because it was either that or go with that ball fest.
Did it ever occur to you how inappropriate this might look to everyone?
Should I care? It's only inappropriate if you make it out to be.
Actually, I don't know why she's making such a big deal out of it.
Relax. I won't do
Yeah.
anything to make your boyfriend angry. He doesn't even need to know we dined out. It'll be our dirty little secret.
Hey, what did you know about the boyfriend?
The non-boyfriend.
Mm-hmm. The tsundere reveals itself.
He's not my boyfriend.
Words come out with more force than I've intended. By the time I realized my slip up, my lips had already spread into a sneer, just like Luke's. Heat slowly crawls up in my face. Oh, so there is someone. Just so easy to read, Daisy. Briefly, his eyes search my face. I have no idea what he sees, nor do I care to know, but in the next second, he barks out a laugh, displaying his amusement without reserve to everyone within earshot. Hey, look! Tsundere! In that moment, I know I flipped the switch in him somewhere. I lost my chance to deny his assumptions. I'm not a dare, soon dare. Dun, 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 dun. Do I even want to? Isn't that the reason why I've been so focused on my mobile, waiting for another message from him? For a reason to dump this awkward meeting to go after him? Look how mottled you are. Now, the nickname makes more sense. Shy Miss Pink and a cute little crush, Aston. The color suits you, by the way. It matches the hair.
It's not a crush.
Classic denial, but in reality, you want him to be yours. And your every mood is made to make him notice you. You know how much anime I watched. I know this shit.
I know all the techniques of the top 10 ways to get your senpai to notice you.
Luke
Oh
is
no,
kind of
fuck
on
the
the money
fuck
here.
the senpai. I know,
Right,
I've
though.
seen grown
So right.
adults be tsundere. In manga where they actually have sex.
Oh, let's continue.
Hmm.
In fact, you don't want him to see you with another man in a non-professional capacity because he might misinterpret it. Of course, you know, because it's me too.
The same thing goes for you, doesn't it? Bloody, yours is even worse. What about your wife? Aren't you concerned she might misinterpret this?
She's busy building a harem.
Yeah, she's way too busy, Daisy. Daisy, just because we tied the knot doesn't mean we have to be joined at the hip at every single opportunity. That is what leads to an unhealthy relationship.
Don't be ridiculous. Why else would you marry her if you don't want to be with her for the rest of your lives?
That is a gross exaggeration. Because, Daisy, she also has other things she can do with her life and friends to spend time with. Granted, I don't like some of them, and I have a few of my own she utterly dislikes. But wifey doesn't even have to know my every move, nor do I hers. That's why we stopped following each other on Facebook. Actually, I don't even have a Facebook anymore. I deleted it. But do you know how boring that would be? To be with the same person for all hours of the day, losing sleep over the mere fact that they're not with you. Or putting everything you have aside to please them, to have your whole world revolve around one person.
Aren't you just mistaking that for something else? Unlike you, there are other people here who don't share the same jaded outlook you have. Don't lump everyone together just because it didn't work out for you.
And you, my dear, are unexpectedly naive.
What's so naive about it? If you love each other, wouldn't you want to always see them? Be with them? To have them focus solely on you? Maybe you haven't been loved enough.
Have you ever had a woman solely focus on you? It is really annoying. Okay? That leads to 30-minute calls every fucking day. It is so
He's not into the Yanderes then, I guess we're saying.
Now,
He needs his space.
it's that kind of thing for you, isn't it? The love is eternal, love is a strong emotion shite. A starry-eyed girl pining for a dashing Prince Charming. I'm sorry. Have you ever been in a relationship, Daisy? What's next? Romantic
She's
confessions of
apparently
love?
been pining after Ashton since childhood, so she's kind of not.
Yeah. Grand wedding on the beach. Dozens of spawns running around some picturesque home in the suburbs. How quaint. Are you also expecting it's going to be sunshine and rainbows after? A happily ever after? Please.
What? I never once said.
You know, I don't love Luke's character, but he's making good points.
Right, I mean, he's like I'm checking my list right now, and Luke is a lot of things, but wrong is not on there.
Oh my god.
And is all of that such a bad thing to hope for?
Woman, I've been married for 7 years. I'm telling you, it's far from what you have in your pretty red head. Tell me, how long has this song and dance been going for you and your man? Maybe I am mistaken.
Oh, I should do.
Averting my
averting
eyes
my
from him
eyes.
is all I managed to do.
I'll do the narration because you're doing Luke.
No,
What does
I
his
like the narration though. But
Okay.
what does this mere 7 years have compared to the 17 I've had with Ashton? You
You have not had these 17
I think
years.
that's what Daisy.
Girl.
Oh,
That's sad.
I know. It's
Perhaps it would make more sense during like Luke's route.
Damn. Becky, what size shoes do you wear? What size shoes do you wear, Becky? Because I'm going to get you some clown shoes right now.
Damn.
You are a fool.
Poor
a
Becky.
total fool.
Just getting roasted by this
God,
man.
I wish I was living in a musical world just for this moment, so I could sing some scathing, horribly written song about this. But whatever. It's laughable he thinks those two things are even comparable. Ash and I may have never moved past the boundaries of friendship, like what I'm hoping for years. What we have isn't something anyone can scoff at. Oh, contraire, Daisy.
Look,
I
you
do not
actually married
agree.
and got somewhere, and you're
It's
still
being
lost.
scoffed at right now.
Yes, even the lifeless mannequins behind me are scoffing at you.
It's so bad that everyone playing your visual novel route like chose the opposite route instead of. okay. So
Yeah.
All right.
I've always been by his side, endured everything with him. I know him better than anyone. No matter what this man, this complete stranger says, I know there will always be a place for me beside him. And yet... Come on, Daisy, this shouldn't be too hard. 3, 5, 8, 10. Don't tell me it's 17. 20. His words easily seep into my heart like sharp daggers, gradually picking apart everything I've ever been sure of. Despite myself, the doubts resurface, my defenses crumble right in front of my eyes. It's no wonder he sees through me, and expected, he ridicules it. Laughs. Restrained, low and rumbling, a sharp sound striking the air around us, amidst the murmur of people and the soft noises of the music playing overhead. And why am I using this much dialogue to describe my feelings?
Because
Like this.
it's for those
Visual
people.
novel.
Yeah,
I
it's a
know,
visual
like-
novel, my dude.
Yeah, I know. Like, I don't understand why visual novels had to explain it in 6 different ways when just one would do.
Look,
You
the
get that
writer's
word
got to
count.
get paid somehow per words, man. He's got to
I
fill it
know.
in. Are you good with narration? I can take back if you want.
All right, you can take it back now.
All right. Have we read this line? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I read it.
Okay, here we go. His shoulders shake and his mirth becomes too much even for him. He reaches up his hands and presses it over his face as it holds his glee close to him.
Bloody bollocks. This is just brilliant. Oh, mother. Why do I always keep running into these things? This day couldn't get any better. Unless, Roger Rabbit actually showed up.
God.
I think I'm going to need a stiff drink after this. And chat with Roger. Or Harvey. Either Rabbit
Dissolves
would do.
into another peal of laughter. When he subsides it, what he has for me are more words, scathing each of them. The urge to run from here has never been this strong.
God, my laughing face makes me look like a total douche. It's everything you said, how you plan to act. If that man of yours ever ends up with you, cling to him, put him on a bloody pedestal, let him become the center of your universe? Although, with how long it seems to be going on, I think you've already done so. Marriage would just be icing on the top. Like some sort of reward for you, isn't it? For being a good, patient, loyal little girl all this time, never looking at another man. He must have been having a grand time with someone pining over him this long. I'm a little envious, to be honest. Maybe also a little surprised he hasn't suffocated from all your attention yet.
Laugh all about it if you want. It's not like you'll ever understand.
Luke falls silent. Ridicule him is gone in an instant, and his eyes meets mine, sharp and imposing. A challenge, but I hold against him with the same intensity, because if there's something I won't let his opinion trample on, it's this. What does he know? However, he's the first one who looks away, focusing his eyes back to where Kylie is, and for a moment I believe I won with a few
Well, you
words.
thought wrong.
Until he draws a breath, he turns back to me. The words he dropped next, though hushed, hang heavily in the distance between us.
You're right. I won't. But I do know not to mistake love for obsession, women. They are not the same thing.
It rattles. Out of everything he said tonight, this was the one that twinged my heart. Maybe it's the manner he delivers it, a lack of conceit in his posture, or an underlying insult in the tone he takes. The remarks is not meant to cut, merely to express a simple truth. This time, it's him who gazed against mine. Another unspoken challenge, and I realized that. If this happened minutes before, I'd be already have an equally searing retort at the tip of my tongue. There's none. But there's anger in there, wrinkling in my insides, prodding at my uncertainties I've long kept. Isn't it enough? We have the long years we've been together. We have the memories. Whenever he needs me, or until other people came in between us, I've always been the one there. The dedication and loyalty should mean something, shouldn't it? I've always been sure of it, and that one day, he'll see what it is for what it is. In despite of that, this minute, under this man's scrutiny, my own heart wavers. Now, I struggle to find the words. All right. So,
I think it's obvious which one's the negative answer in this.
So should we go
I
with
want to.
the?
What's his question exactly?
You want to go with the Baka answer, or do you want to go like, bruh?
Like, is he right or not?
Yeah, right do you have it sounds more rude. Although I could be wrong on that. It's hard to tell with Luke.
Well,
What was the question exactly? Can we check the logs real quick?
that's fine. Let's see. I think this is more like a question to herself or something.
Yeah,
but let's see.
basically, it's basically denying him.
Not to
Let's
mistake love
see.
for obsession. They're not the same thing.
Yeah, so that's the one that made her think this whole thing here. So let's see. The one that prompted to leads it. Let's see. I struggle to find the words.
What is the question exactly?
She's basically trying to deny that what he said is true, but you have to ask. You have to like.
Love and obsession.
Figure out which way you want to say it.
This one led to the prompt up to it here. This is out of everything tonight. Maybe it's a matter it delivers, it conceit, whatever, blah blah. It's time for the holds against it. An unspoken challenge. I realize it happens minute before. There's none. We have waited long years.
So he's
together.
questioning Ash and Yora's relationship and the difference between love and obsession.
So it's just.
I think it would be better worded if she said, "I don't need to respond to that," because there's no question to answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I said I don't need to answer that. Yeah, I'd say the top one. Yeah.
All right. Anybody for second?
Well, I don't know. Like, what is the tone y'all are getting from each answer?
Well,
Because I'm really inclined to agree with Luke on this one. Like, she's wasting her life
I feel
trying
like
to away with this
these
guy
are
who does
two
not care about her.
this is like two
Yeah, is Luke
definite
right or is Luke
answers,
wrong?
For
I think.
Rebecca, but like I would say Rebecca. If we were to play the character Rebecca, I feel like she would still kind of try to find a way to finesse this. So she would definitely go with the top answer. But if we say what right do you have, makes it seem
I feel like
we're
that's
kind of
starting
like
a fight.
defeated. Yeah, starting a fight.
Yeah, what
again.
right do you have is definitely a more
Yeah.
aggressive answer.
Yeah,
But he
So
likes
I-
aggressive,
but you-
doesn't he?
That is deflection.
I feel like yeah.
No, it's so hard with Luke.
So, like anybody else for one?
I go with one.
All right.
I
Anybody?
think I'm 2.
Okay, we got
Oh,
one and a two.
I've got a. Let's see.
I think I'm on the second one because it just seems more Rebecca, and like maybe he'll open up
One for two.
more about his own past. Maybe not.
All right, 1 for 2. Anybody else?
I guess 2.
I was
One for
kind of
three.
leaning towards 2.
1 for 4. That's majority vote. So, democracy has spoken.
Wait, I want to see our relationship, and then we'll check it afterwards. I just want to see how we're doing.
Oh, we're pulling in the lead.
We're overflowing in Luke.
Oh shoot, we are past neutral. Interesting.
Yeah,
Do we wanna throw that away,
going with
though?
Luke kind of makes it so that he ups your relationship with him.
I feel like if you go, what right do you have, makes it feel like he's on the right, and I think he will kind of find it fascinating in that. But like
I don't
saying,
know.
I don't need to answer that.
Basically,
Every
I don't
question
need
with
to.
Luke is just so
Basically, what right do you have is kind of like it is like kind of a more aggressive way to deny him. Well, I don't need to answer that. It's more like
it's like deflecting it, like
deflecting it.
Yeah.
I kind of think
feel
like
like-
what right do you have? It kind of follows the theme that Rebecca's had in this conversation, where she's been on the defensive, and that gives Luke more leeway to go into his own backstory and say some more stuff. But if you say I don't need to answer that, then I feel like the conversation will just kind of quietly end.
Well, I mean, they're both kind of like quietly looking at each other. This is like a standstill right now. So if we're looking at like who's winning, quote unquote, right now it seems like Luke is technically, well, yeah, by technicality he's right, because he's just like, bruh, you've been following this man for God for how long, and you can't even tell if it's genuine love or just pure obsession, and that's what we led to this whole moment. So if we don't need to answer that, that's basically we're like, the best way I could say it is like we're avoiding from like answering the actual question directly, whereas what right do you have makes it seem like Truth was in the right about like being like assertive about the whole thing. So I feel like if we go with the second one, it might make look like Luke was right, but I feel like the first answer would also be like kind of a general neutral response. But
I'm still leaning towards 2.
I think I'll vote for this one. Because I actually never went down this route, to be honest.
All right.
I'm gonna vote 1.
So right now it's, let's see. If I count my numbers correct, Madeline, Aaron, Zach, and who was going for 2? Was it also Nick?
I'm on the.
I was voting for 1. So
Okay, 2 for 1. I'm sorry. So it's 2. Trying to think. I think it was Madeline, Maria,
I'm going towards
Nick
2.
and Zach. So that's still 4 to 2. With man, my brain cells are really bad at counting right now. But I think it's still like 4 to. I guess it's 4 to 2, 4 to 3 right now.
Okay, you know what? Actually, you know what? Let's do 1 and see what happens.
So you change your answer to
So
make
would
it
that
equal
be
then?
3 and 3?
now we gotta roll a die.
Well, unless Alice wants to put her input in. I don't know if she's there though. Alice,
He wants to stay out of this.
that's fine. She's
I vote 1, I guess.
Oh, that's 4 to
Sister
3.
power, I knew it.
All right. Well, if
Mostly, I
let-
want to do 1 because I feel like it's the least likely to detract our Luke relationship. As much as I hate Luke, I see this as maybe a good route for Rebecca because she's got to get away from Ashton.
Yeah, it's an upgrade. It's an upgrade from
Yeah.
Ashton at least, and I think 1 would be more likely to not.
all right, I'm just doing a recount here.
Try to
So
win a fight.
1, 2, 3.
Luke is
4.
married. What are you
1,
talking
2.
about?
She's gone. He's got a
Hannah's getting
divorce.
a harem. It's fine.
It's fine. He's getting divorced. He's gonna cry back to his mama with Kylie for some reason, and then be like, "Bruh, I'll be your next." I don't know.
Yeah, we're getting Hannah and Mary Ann together. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. We're just trying to see if we want to give this guy at least a consolation prize. I don't know. That's kind of a bad way to put it. But anyways,
Don't do that.
Democracy has spoken. May God have rest on our relationship meter. However,
Okay.
okay. However, those are for me to ponder on. This and this ours doesn't need to hear from them, and neither is entitled for them to just because he dished out some profound-sounding life wisdom that no one asked for. So I look away, hoping my own silence will be enough for an answer for him.
Relationship meter.
It is for... No, we gotta write this out before we do it. For a moment. Up
Guess that's
until
fair.
warm, furious tears prickled behind my eyes,
Oh.
stinging, begging for a release, along with every other frustration this dumb talk has built up on me. All because of this man. I hate him. I hate the fact that he has to be the one to see me in this sorry state. I've already expected another barb from him, but when his expression shifts, he expects panic. In the span of 3 seconds, his expression changes from indifferent to concerned to utter panic. It would be probably had been funny if you weren't so irked by the sight of his Sorry, that ruined it, but bastard.
Irish.
Hey, are you crying? Are you going to cry?
Back.
I don't like crying.
Stop that right now, woman! Oh.
Is he gonna cry?
Jesus.
I'll cry too.
I'll cry too. Will you shut up?
He calms up almost before I can finish. Whether this is due to the sudden force of my own voice or how I look, I pretend not to think of it. He seems to be like a deer caught in headlights with the way he's making himself smaller in his seat. But I'm still pissed. Tired. If I can't punch him, at least scream at him.
Aw, jeez. You're an annoying bag of dick, you know that? If I hear another word from you, I'm sewing that bloody mouth shut myself.
I never heard that phrase without the, like, as a singular.
Just one single.
just one dick.
Just one dick, not a bag of dicks. Oh, God. Anyways, that does the trick. Not to the effect I hope, but the moment when I snapped at him, the stinging in the back of my eyes melt away, and a strange calm overcomes me. A fragile thing when found in the middle of a busy coffee shop. Nonetheless, it's appreciated, considering it doesn't last. Immediately broken by the very person that puts me in the state with a few awkward pats on my shoulder. Done twice. Thrice.
Pat.
And
Pat.
another.
Pat.
I wonder if these are just straight up head pats like anime at this point. But until my patience
It's like, I
run
saw
out
this in a
again.
show. This should work.
And I'm pulling out of the book from my bag, raising it threateningly over his head. It should dent his skull if it slammed it down at his height. Part of me wants to see that, but I restrain myself. He has the good sense to recoil, though. Shortly, he shrinks back to his seat and waves his hand in front of him with a gesture of surrender.
What's that book, woman? I already warned you about your little threats. You don't want to see my brand of angry. It'll make the Incredible Hulk look like a giant kindergartner.
Oh, God.
Then keep your hands to yourself.
That was a terrible metaphor. Alright, that's it. People these days, I swear, you treat them nicely and this is where it gets me.
You're the last person I'd ever want to comfort me, even if we're the only two remaining people on Earth. Where did that come from? God. Don't flatter yourself.
This is pretty intense conversation at a coffee shop, by the way.
It's not like the staff or whoever's gonna look at us anyway.
Oh, the baristas are definitely listening.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
not looking at you.
I wonder if that
They're judging.
barista is the same barista from Coffee Talk. He's just like, well, it's another day.
God, I wish. At least a fucking succubus coming in here would make this thing more lively.
Alright.
Okay, have it your way, Daisy.
And stop calling me Daisy. I have a name, you know.
Okay, stop crying, Mary.
He mutters something inaudible underneath his breath, although afterwards he doesn't say anything further. The next minute, he simply contents himself with making a sense out of the paper napkins, folding them into clean shapes without any clear intent, before crumpling on his hand with his interest and dumping them in a small pile in front of him. A waiter serves our meal soon enough, and Kylie makes her way back to our table. Where the fuck was she? Okay. Before
What was she doing?
She was looking at a picture, remember?
Oh yeah, she was going through a picture book. I remember now. Before I could take a single
It was
bite,
very embarrassing.
he mutters something. It's like, man, I sure like to bite. To me, my two bites. Oh, God.
UFC ain't got nothing on us, dear.
Oh, God. Anyways, the words spoken in the same tone he used since morning, all underneath his breath, whenever the honest part of himself would show. Despite my rather confusing opinion of the man, I stopped short, shoving my food in my mouth to look at him. His eyes are on his food as we speak, busying himself with a cutting portion of meat on his plate. But what comes out of him is not only rings true against my ears above the din of a coffee house.
For what it's worth, Rebecca, I didn't ever think that's all there is to you. Why else would I leave my own goddaughter in your care? You're just some lovesick woman.
He spears a piece of his food, pops it into his mouth, and that's it.
Was that a backhanded compliment?
One whole day with this man, I still can't figure what his deal is. What it's worth as well, I don't think he's an entirely bad guy. The rest of our meal slips in silence afterwards. Aside from Kylie's occasional chatter, the whole dinner goes on without another word exchanged between the two of us. Somehow we managed to make it through the whole thing without triggering another tension-riddled conversation. A good thing, perhaps. One, because Kylie's sitting in front of us, and two, it probably wouldn't be able to hold a proper conversation with a mind heavy with thoughts. We departed the coffee house just as the evening crowd starts to thin out. What crowd are they talking about? It's like, well, if it's time to go, Jim Bob. Be like, yeah, I'm about to go do an affair on my food. Oh, God. Let's see that relationship. Ah, shit!
Yeah, that went up.
Oh, God,
nice.
This is like 2020 election right here. We're getting real close in this election.
Oh my god.
Luke's
All right.
catching up to Ashton, yeah.
All right. The same wordless silence filled our short walk back to the school, except when Luke gestures at a nearby flower shop and enters it without waiting for Kylie and I. He emerges a minute later carrying a bouquet of daffodils, with the same softened expression back on his face. Unlike the previous one, he tucks this one away almost as soon as he looked up at us, a moment he's willing not to share.
Aw, it's for his
my-
wife.
At my confusion, he merely answers with a shrug and
I
continues
think.
walking.
For someone important.
I accept for what it is, only because he doesn't owe me an explanation. It does leave more questions about him, each one baffling as the previous ones. There are those last words speaking this evening before we head our own ways. Up until I arrived home, I still can't understand him. He's in my mind, 24/7. Is this what it's called?
Rent free.
A new crush? Alright, here, however, a whole different set of questions await me. Much like everything today, it comes with a little list of things. A lone note greets me upon reaching my unit door. Its edges flutter lightly against a faint, warm breeze passing through the small complex. My hand stops short of twisting the knobs as I stare at it, though I don't want to make any moves to take it. Ashton's neat script lines on its surface. Dropped by earlier, you weren't around. Any ideas where the scaredy cat is? I couldn't contact her. Inspector Abigail has a few questions. LPD shift stuff. Something about her dead co-workers? Anyways, let me know the two of you have been doing. I'll see you later. -ish. Winky face.
Yeah. Way to rub it in, Ash. Way to rub it in.
Look.
Like he's talking about dead people and he winky faces the bot. Okay.
Yeah, that was really tactless to say, like, yeah, something about your friend's dead coworker, whatever. What's her name again? I forgot.
Is Scaredy Cat Isabella?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Isabella.
Yeah, that's her.
Yeah.
Alright, well, Isabella might be missing again, so. His
Oh,
message he
geez.
left so short and straight to the point, but not without underlying hint of friendship. He's looking for
Is that what it
Isabella,
was?
apparently. Something
Yeah.
about LPD investigation for a co-worker's death, but ends in a formal tone by checking on me.
I can only imagine how this route would be if Isabella died in her route.
Damn, I went from me to us. Alright, any other day, the former part of this message would likely prod at the piercing envy I've been holding, while the latter would probably send my heart aflutter.
Girl, break off of this.
But he gave me a winky face.
If he really cared, he would have texted you before he even got there.
There's a winky
I'm
face.
just saying, like, oh, the winky face makes it all
This
better.
is Ashton, Maria. You don't understand. I know all about him, apparently.
Oh no, I understand. I understand fuck boys just fine.
I understand.
We are not doing
fuckboys.
that on this route.
All right. Anyways,
You
little
do
things.
not understand fuckboys, okay? Have you ever
Luke
seen
Luke
how
is the
dangerous they can
biggest
truly be?
Fuckboy in the whole world.
Oh shit! All right. Anyways, little thanks from him that I want means something more. Yet this time only gets fills me, and my eyes briefly shift towards Isabella's empty unit. Luke's words repeat inside my head as I do so. Oh, it's Luke.
For what it's worth, Rebecca, I didn't ever think that's all there is to you. Why else would I leave my own goddaughter in your care if you're just some lovesick woman?
Have I always been like this?
This
Desperate?
selfish? This super desperate, like Aaron says? In truth, I intended to call Ash after that night, didn't I? If I didn't catch him here, invite him to that party like I've planned, there's time and he's still probably awake at this hour. But my hands won't move. Perhaps it's for the better. Till I have time to think this through, it'd be best if I distance myself from those I've been clinging tightly to. For a different perspective and see things for what they are. With a soft
Yes, girl.
sigh, I reach for the note and crumple it under my hand. Now, like, what's that meme? It's like, friendship ended with this said person. Luke is now my friend.
Yeah, I know that meme.
Yeah.
It's
That's
friendship ended
perfect.
with
What?
now this is my new best friend.
Yeah, exactly. That moment.
Someone post that meme so I get the context.
Give me-
Yeah.
I know one between Echidna from ReZero and Gargura, the VTuber.
Yeah, it was like some weird like meme that's maybe like some like I forget. It was like some folks from like the Indian like continent area. I forget. It was like it's like the one that sells it is like the font and the text and the colors they use. It's so ridiculous.
I don't think I've ever seen that meme, but I do know. Oh, here it is.
Yeah,
Here's a somewhat example of the meme that I would use if Reddit wasn't acting like a dick with its loading times. Okay, here we go.
that's
Hang
fine.
on, I think I found it.
All right. Well, post both of them if they're memey. Yeah, there
Yeah. There we go.
we go. Salam is my.
Oh,
Yeah,
you beat me
that's-
to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's-
exactly
that's-
that
Oh,
moment.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh boy. Oh my. Oh, Jidna. Alright. Other than that, let's continue this mess
Okay.
here. We're now moving on past Ashton. Fuck that boy. But anyways, maybe after some introspection, it'll be easier. Tomorrow, I have that woman and the mansion.
Nick,
to
why
worry
why
about.
is your image smaller?
I do not know.
Magic.
I don't know. People come in different resolution size for the same meme.
I guess
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why when I like search through like Bing, I make sure it's like max large size, looking for a decent sized one. But anyways, the night wears on without further incident, despite the great numbers of thoughts swimming inside my head. Come morning, there's only a hush, a strange sort of stillness, unlike the ones greeting me from every morn. This one's uneasy, tied with anticipation like a string stretched thin, merely waiting for the proper time to snap. Excuse me. Granted, it doesn't take my day to make any less pleasant, but the edge is there. And as expected, the second I step out of my flat, it becomes a part broken by the voices of two squabbling adults echoing from the floor below. The quiet was nice while it lasted. Shame. I don't know who these people's voices are, but who wants to be mystery person?
What the hell were you thinking?
This
I
might be
wasn't-
person number 2. I don't know.
That's
Could you
person
let
one.
go?
Oh, it's these two.
Oh, these two.
Yeah.
Of course.
After a few seconds later, they both ascend the stairs, pulling Ash and Isabella by the wrist. God damn, I wish you could do that to me. But anyways, she struggles as she should, but this hold on her remains firm. Freeing herself means having to draw blood as she attempts to pry his hand off with her, the other one, or using unnecessary force to push herself away. Neither of which is better than the other. One could potentially end in an accident, while the other means having to hurt him physically. He has
Do
a
it.
good sense to realize at least. However, it doesn't take the desperate edge in her voice when she answers Ashton's temper with her own. And so on they go, none the wiser to my presence. All right,
Do you
get
have
in.
any idea how much trouble you could get in?
That's why I'm asking you for help.
Dumbass.
Is that what you've been doing the last 3 days? Because this doesn't make your case convincing, Isabella.
Rose died, Ash.
Sorry. There you
I know every single person in Luxembourg knows it's on the damn news, even Fox News. But that
go.
doesn't.
Fox News. You know shit's real when Fox News report this.
I think you mean fake news.
Oh, Fox. Oh.
Oh shit! All right.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I don't know why I should laugh at that more than I should, but
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
was watching the new Animaniacs, and they did make the foul
Oh, I
new
did
jokes.
wanna watch
Oh
that.
no.
Oh yeah, that sounds like Animaniacs what they do, especially on Hulu. But anyways,
People are missing. Some of those are my friends, and BRC's just covering it all up.
oh no.
And you can't just barge into my office and expect me to do anything about it right off the bat. This isn't a children's game, Isabella. We have procedures. We have to follow protocol. We have to go around, go, not collect $200. There's red tape case for a reason. And we sure as hell don't investigate things just because some stupid letter spooked us.
Spooky letter.
Ash, you have to believe me this time. If we don't do anything right now, more people will.
It's been a whole week. The stupid letter prank is getting old fast. I'm sick of it. It was like funny the first time, but not so much now.
You're the only one that can help me with this, Ash. Even Rebecca won't.
Wow.
Damn, I'm standing right here, you assholes.
Ah,
Like
crap.
literally right in front of you. All right. You two are awfully loud. What's going on here?
Both of their heads snapped up, almost in unison. A displeased frown on each of their faces, but this is unnecessary interruption. But what can they do? People still in the unit's already taken interest in the commotion, with some taking a peek behind their curtains, while others are bold enough to creak their doors open, only slightly. If they don't keep it down pretty soon, our landlady will show up. I'm probably come up with an AK or something, but getting reprimanded from her is the last thing I want to happen. First thing on a Friday morning, even if this is hardly my fault.
Well, if you want to continue this, you two better do it elsewhere. You're disturbing other people.
Don't worry, we're doing it here.
No, we aren't. Becca, I looked it up. I called them. I visited some of them. And
Which you shouldn't have done in the first place. Isabella, you're going to create more problems for us with what you're doing. The team has already been assigned to it. Leave it to us.
your precious team is looking at it the wrong way. Becca, it's not just Rose. There are others.
That last bit strikes a chord, prods strongly at my memory. The vicious smile that's already etched deeply inside my mind. The image appears clear enough that, the mere mention of it, I stumble on my own question.
What do you mean?
The letter, Rebecca. It's not.
It's nothing. Jeez, if there really was something going on because of that dumb chain letter, none of us would be standing here. We've all read it, haven't we? And Rebecca's alive, Zach's alive, I'm alive, so for last time, that was not occurred. There's a murderer on the loose, and your coworkers just happen to be the victim.
I'm sorry, I'm just kind of laughing. I realize the fact that the lens flare is very strong, trying to be present at the bottom right, like it's freaking J.J. Abrams, but other than
Oh
that,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm distracted by it. Okay.
Holographic, the light. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, let's continue.
Just give it a rest, Isabella. It's too early for the shit.
Don't you think that's too much of a coincidence?
Nah, not so much. Most serial killers follow a pattern, like zodiac signs or something. I'll tell you about it some other time. In any way, coincidence or not, the point is civilians like you aren't supposed to get involved. You're putting yourself in danger. Danger. Oh,
I wasn't chasing after a murderer. I'm chasing after a ghost.
Get angry.
Ghost murderer.
Why does Becky like this guy? Okay, will the both of you slow down and stop arguing for a minute?
Because
I mean, maybe we'll learn to like Ashton more once we actually play as him.
yeah,
I don't know.
find out.
What's this about your coworkers, Belle?
Becca, please don't tell me now you believe in this shit.
Sure, in a heartbeat, I agree with Ashton. That's how I've always been, besides having a very good point. Really, they're very the same ones he'll make every time I ask too many questions. But the fact of the matter is, what he wants to hear from me right now is far from what I've been seeing, sensing in these past few days. It doesn't matter what Isabella or I believe in our own. Something odd has been happening around me, and the letter she picked up is at the heart of this. But however, I respond to the question in their faces. Only one of them would be pleased with it. Alright, who do you want to simp for?
I'm thinking it's the second.
We saw
Yeah,
the girl.
Yeah, let's be honest.
obviously the
Be
first
honest.
option.
We saw
Obviously,
her
the
at the
first
bar.
option increases your relationship with Ashton, while the second one increases with Belle.
Oh man, that's so bad to like after seeing it and then still going with Ashton after getting ignored for
Yeah,
17
that would
years.
be
I say the
so
second.
bad. Yeah, the second.
Second.
Her
All
coworker
right.
just died. We're seeing
Gr-
stuff.
Granted, you might. This is one of those questions where I think you might lower your relationship with the one you don't agree with.
Good.
yeah.
I like how Maria's very
That was
adamant.
Ashton.
Alright, so we're on to the fuck Ashton route.
Tell them to kick rocks. Get out of here, Ashton.
I mean, you know things are going bad when you'd rather side with Luke over Ashton.
Alright, because nobody wants to go to Operation Cuck Isabella, we're going to the first option. Nah, I'm kidding. I won't do that. It's fucked up. Anyways, so, like, realistically, the real count is we got already 3 or 4 people already voted for the second option? There's
Yeah,
4
I'm on the
people. All right, so let me do a recount. I think Mal and Maria definitely said 2.
Yeah.
Let's see. Aaron's also with 2. Nick is
Yeah, I'm with
also
2
with
as well.
2. Okay, that's majority
Yeah,
vote.
it's
That's
in
all
the
I need right there. All right, let's go.
It's clear what the choices are, so it's like I'm not even gonna hide it.
All right,
This
let's
one.
go, because democracy's almost at a full ride here.
Yes, as your president, I approve of this decision.
Yes, Ashton in
This is the right
particular won't be too happy to hear it because he's such a fuckboy. Imagining the look on his face, it doesn't take too much effort. His entire posture shifts from the moments my reluctance shows, shoulders tensing, brows furrowing, his eyes gaining a sharp edge like an anime protagonist. He's already bracing himself for the disappointment. And it will be a disappointment. Not in a million years did I ever believe I'll be saying this either.
I might have seen her. The the woman Belle's been telling us about. The one she said she saw in the attic.
Both of them just stare at me like I've grown an extra head. And for a few moments, Ashton looks at me as he's about to have a fit. Look at his fucking mouth. Holy shit.
Oh my god.
Hold on, I need a fucking like.
Oh my god.
All right,
It's a
we're
great-
screen capping this
Oh.
and sending it to the police
me.
department.
Hold on. Give me a minute here. Aw, damn it, I have to do this in window mode. Fuck! Never mind. Or no, I can still save this. Hold on. I can still save this. Anyways, I just need to paste this on Paint 3D real quick. Alright, I'll edit this later. Alright. Anyways, let's continue.
You're kidding, right?
Here we go.
Oh, one
Oh yeah.
Do I look like I'm joking?
Eh.
Maria?
Do I look like I'm joking?
There you go.
Really, Becca, not funny.
Not cool, man.
Ash, I'm not lying. Why would I lie about this? It's been this way since the film fest. The past few days have been really odd since we read that letter.
Or maybe you're just feeling under the weather. Weird weather we're having here.
You can stop gaslighting us now. I'm not sick. Don't you think I'd know that by now?
Becca, you're starting to sound like Scaredy Cat here.
Wow, really name calling now. Fuck.
Oh, I think it's that.
You said it already?
Yeah, give me a break.
Why don't you?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, you two.
Isabella's voice cut sharply to the conversation, abruptly putting an end to the brewing argument.
It's all my fault. This is all my fault. I was only hoping I could fix this before any of you, before I'm sorry for dragging you all into this.
She breathes in, deep, steadying in the moment. Something falls behind her eyes as she looks away.
I'll fix this, I promise.
Quiet resolve. Same one I saw her in that night from 3 days ago. But this time it burns brighter. Even when Ashton Weaver's at its sight, when she looks at him straight in the eyes, gaze unflinching, gradually his grip on her loosens.
Well, there's nothing for you to fix. The problem is.
Just this once, Ash.
Her voice, though small and lacking any force, stops him. Along with it, every sound, every noise dies around us, a hush descending as if the world is waiting for her words.
You don't have to come with me. But if I don't do anything, I am going to regret it.
She lays her hands at the top of this. Gentle, leading, almost intimate, as if not to consider the circumstances we found ourselves in.
Please?
Ashton will never tell a soul. He will never admit it even to himself, but it is in that short second that his own resolve breaks. One with the hard edge in his eyes soften, he relinquishes in his hold on her, letting his hand fall limply into his side. Wordlessly, Isabella gets absorbed into the oblivion inside of him, but Isabella steps back and runs off, leaving only a muttered thanks and a small, lackluster smile. Only after the last of her footstep fades away does Ashton move, breaking the silence with one of his sharp exhales before reaching up to the pinched bridge of his nose in a gesture of frustration and surrender.
Do you really have to tell her that?
What do you want to hear? From me then? That everything's fine?
No, I want all of you to stop putting these ideas about ghosts in her head. None of it is helping. Never mind. Don't worry about her. I'll bring her back here.
He's already poised to leave when my own instinct takes over. I reach for him, crippling his elbow. Oh, Scoopy. I got a burp like crazy, but other than that, with the same unyielding grip, the pump prompted by the voices whispering at the back of my mind.
Ooh.
He's already made it clear that he's not going to believe me. But he deserves a word of caution. Who knows where all this will take us? How all of this will end? He shouldn't be caught off guard, police notwithstanding.
Ash, I know you don't believe in those things she's saying, and you know me. I'm as less inclined to believe in those things as you do. But I've seen something. There's something strange going on here. You don't have to buy it. If you don't want to listen to me, fine. But please try to hear her out. It's bad enough that Isabella goes off like this without telling anyone. I'm just worried something might happen to her if she keeps at it. Talk to her, okay?
If she trusts me enough for that. As if she trusts me enough for that.
Doesn't the fact that she approached you first about this instead of me already say a lot?
Oh, damn. A different kind of trust, granted implicitly and never spoken. Something too big and too fragile to last. Falls silent for a long moment as he turns over his mind. the end, all he manages to offer a small nod before he departs, and a promise
Ooh,
to
animation.
at least listen to her, without the teasing or the jibes. A favor for me, and the least he could do for her. This is as much I can do for him. As well, I've understood what's happening myself. Let's see. It's currently 9:20. Do you just want to push on
Yeah.
a little bit here to maybe it might end the day here? I'm not sure, or go to the next scene. But
Just a
I'm
little
good
bit,
either
I
or.
guess.
all right, let's just go a
I
little
can
bit
do a
here.
little bit more.
This is a little more tonight. Hopefully, where all the star will provide answers I'm looking for. Ellipses.